Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Rowell. All right, it is the second day of my short weekend, and as you know, when I came back from California, I brought a bunch of stuff with me. I brought some tools, I brought some stuff that belonged to my dad, and I also got about 4 boxes of stuff that had like pictures and photo albums and all sorts of memories of my father. And I got to admit, I've cheated a little bit. I've looked at some of that, and this is a real treasure trove of stuff. Let me share with you some of the things that I got. Like I said, I've kind of cheated and looked at this a little bit ahead of time, but these are the things that I think are kind of the highlights that I've collected. And I'm going to kind of show you these each one by one. Now, one of the things I want to do is scan a lot of this stuff. So you won't just have to look at it through the camera. I'm going to show you actually the scanned images of some of this stuff. But I want to go through some of this stuff because it's really covering really the whole life of my father. I mean, this here is a collection of photos from when he was a baby. You know, that's when he was, 2.5 weeks old, going on, all the way up until about he's 3 years old. This is, I've never seen some of this stuff before, so this is really kind of amazing to look through this. Now I'm going to scan some of these, but basically I think what you'll do is you'll just get the pictures that you see on the screen here. That's my dad and his mom when he was, 11.5 weeks old, just a baby. And, it goes all the way up here until he's just a young kid playing in the snow. I mean, look at all these pictures. And it's actually on both sides here, so there's just all sorts of stuff here. Like I said, stuff I've never seen before. And it's all really meticulously dated too, so I know, how old he was in each one of these pictures. Every one of them is labeled, which is, really helpful because, you can look at pictures and say, oh yeah, okay, when was that? Oh, well, I know exactly when that was, so. How awesome is that? And then I also got this one. This one's my dad's baby book. Now, my grandfather was a big photographer, so I was kind of hoping that when I opened this up, there'd be pictures in here. But honestly, it looks like a lot of this is just handwritten stuff from my grandmother. Here's his baby footprints. Weight at birth, 8 pounds, 7.5 ounces. Even got a sample of his hair here if you want that. How awesome is that, huh? Like I said, pictures. My grandfather was a huge photographer, but progress during the first year, the stuff, little milestones that came along when they happened, his loss of his teeth and when that happened, his weight through the first few months, the graph of him growing up, discussion of his first birthday, who was there, what they gave him, his first Christmas. He was born in November, so his first Christmas would have been about less than 2 months later. They'll talk about when he was a year old. Yeah, no pictures. Second birthday, second Christmas. And it's really funny because all the pictures are in here, so I could actually probably pull pictures out of there and put them into here. Third year, third birthday, third Christmas. Progress during the fourth year, fourth birthday, fourth Christmas. So, that's really cool. Health records. And then this is obviously a elementary school picture. And what they did is they just cut out little strips of them. So I got like 15 of the same image. I'm not sure what year this is. This is obviously very, very young. Probably elementary school, maybe junior high, but I'd say that looks more like an elementary school picture. All right. And here I have all 4 of his high school yearbooks. That was his freshman year. Couldn't find any pictures of him in there. This is his sophomore yearbook. Couldn't find any pictures here. But when we got finally to his junior and senior year, I actually found some great pictures. It seemed like in his early years, in freshman and sophomore years, they didn't seem to take pictures of anyone but the senior class. Now, once they start getting into here, they still, the seniors are the only ones that have the individual solo pictures of themselves. But for the other classes, what they do is they would take pictures of their homeroom, and there was a little index in the back that showed, give you a list of every person in the class and what pictures, what pages their pictures were on. So on this one, for instance, that's my dad right there in his homeroom class as a junior. Move on back to here. Put little post-it notes here so I could find my way through everything here. My father was in the choir, so that's him right there. And when he was in the camera club, and that's him right there in the upper right hand corner. That kind of looks like him, right? And then on the next page, that's him right there. I guess that was the Toastmasters. Yeah, he was a Toastmaster in high school, so that's his picture right there. Let's see, I think that's all I found in this one. But then this is his senior one. And right there is his senior class picture in the yearbook. And over here he was in the choir again. And that's him in the second row there. Go on a little bit further in the book here. That is a picture of him right there. And I don't know what that was. Is that the chemistry club? Because that's what it says here. It says chemistry club, and it's kind of split between 2 pages. So I think that's what that was. But yeah, that's him right there. And is anything else in here? So this is what I mean by the little index in the back. It lists everybody and what pages they're on. So that was kind of a cool thing. I actually have his high school diploma, which is really neat. June 15, 1956, Central High School, St. Paul, Minnesota. And this is his high school graduation photo. Not a bad looking guy, right? And I think this was his college photo here, right? Is that what that is? Yeah, his college grad picture. So I got that. That's definitely going to have to be hung up somewhere. That's him as a kid, kind of just hanging out in the front yard. It looks like he's getting ready to play some football. Now this is kind of a cool photo that I found here. I'm not exactly sure what this is from. This is my dad at work with a couple of his colleagues, and he's posing next to this. There's actually a whole bunch of very similar photos that have other people that were obviously friends of my dad's all posing with this piece of equipment here. So this was obviously something he was working on. I don't think at the time that this was B-2 stealth bomber, because that was I think when I was in about high school. And if I'm not incorrect, if I'm deciphering the code on the back of the picture, this was about 1976. So that would have been before that. This might have been something he did at McDonnell Douglas. He worked with them for, basically from when he moved to California until he went to Northrop in the early 80s to work on the stealth bomber. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Him and some of his colleagues. Look at how young he is. And this photo here is a little bit more recent. You can see my dad right here in the background posing with some of his work colleagues in front of the B-2 bomber. How cool is that, huh? I've seen a similar picture to this, but apparently he got a couple opportunities to pose in front of this thing. So, you know, that's definitely a keeper. That's something I think I'll probably end up hanging up in the guest bedroom, kind of on that wall where all my dad's B-2 memorabilia is. And of course, I've mentioned a few times that my father loved to sing. He was a big singer, and he was a member of the church choir for, well, many years. We went to several churches in the time that you know, of my youth, and he ended up at this church, and that's him right back there in the back row with a big smile for the looks like it's the Christmas show, because the place looks like it's all kind of decorated for Christmas. And here's another example of him enjoying singing. This is in about the mid-70s. He was part of a barbershop quartet. Not quartet, but a group that sang barbershop music. And so this was him performing many times. That's him right there. Second row. Let's see, I gotta find him in each one of these pictures here. That's him in the front row. Look at how young he is there. And this one, he is, I think that's him standing up right there. And then here's another one of a performance shot, and that's clearly him in the background right there. So he did that for a number of years, and he really enjoyed doing that. And at one point, I guess he just stopped. I'm not sure what happened there, but that was a part of his life for a great long time. And here we have a series of portraits. That's a photo of my mom and dad from, I don't know, probably 20 years ago. And a couple of pictures over the years of my dad. And then just kind of an informal picture of him in his office. His office was always kind of cluttered, so now you know where I get it, right? Now, I've mentioned before that my father had a cousin who's a famous photographer named Galen Roll. And my father had basically every one of his photo books that he ever published, and I got all of those too. And I gotta admit, most of these I've never even seen before. Never seen that one before, 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 never seen that one before. I knew of this one, I've seen that one, but I don't have a copy of that. I have a copy of this one, I have a copy of this one, but I've never seen that one either. So these are a very prized addition to the collection, and I'm very happy to have those. Now these are a couple of things I picked up that were also in that collection. This thing here is more about my mom's side of the family. My mom and a lot of her family kind of evolved, grew up in a town called Bruno in Minnesota. And this is a book that kind of tells a little bit of the history. And it's funny, I was actually thumbing through it and I found a photograph of my mom's parents and my mom's grandparents. In fact, this picture I've seen before because I was given a framed copy of this photo as part of the stuff that I inherited, and it's been hanging on the wall ever since. So it's interesting to see that from another location. And there's actually a little section on the whole family too. Swan Eklund, that was the man in that picture I showed you, and he's talking about how he was born in Sweden and came to the United States as a young man, worked in the lumber camps, and had children. Had 3 children. One died in infancy, and the other 2 remaining children, a baby daughter, Signe, my grandmother, and Oscar. And I knew Oscar too. Oscar was around for a long time, and he was that side of the family. So it's kind of fun to have this. And like I said, I was just kind of thumbing through this. It's like, wait a second, I know them. And I also got this picture here. This is actually a photograph of my dad's parents and their wedding party at the wedding. So that's kind of cool too. I've got kind of a variant of this. I've got, let's see, where is it? That's their wedding picture right there. But that's the whole wedding party. How cool is that, huh? That's definitely going to have to get framed because that picture is in really great shape. This is something else I got a hold of, and this is kind of, I had no idea what this was, but I opened it up and it has my dad's name on it, and it's dated Christmas 1923. Now, since my grandfather was born in 1915, he was about 8 when he got this. So it looks like a story. It's all in Dutch, I think. So I can't read very much of it, but how cool is that, huh? And then there's this box here, and it's just packed with photographs. I haven't even gotten through most of this. That's my grandparents, my dad's parents, my mom and dad, obviously, another one of my mom and dad, my nephew. This here is the funeral for a member of my family, Kathleen Roll. I'm not really sure who that was. Definitely gonna have to look that up, but that was kind of cool. You know, lots of just kind of fun photos. Previous engineers of the year. What is this here? I don't know. I wonder if my dad was named Engineer of the Year. That's the stealth bomber. You have to look into that. Look at all these pictures though. Look at that dorky kid. That's a classic. Like I said, I'm kind of thumbing through this with one hand here. Some of these are stuck together here, so I'm gonna have to spend a little time unsticking them here. But look, it just goes and goes and goes. Look at all these pictures. Just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photos. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a long time going through that. I'm not even gonna spend time on camera because that'll take the next year to go through all that. But you know, I just kind of wanted to show you some of that, and that isn't even really all of it yet. I've also got the tower for my dad's computer, and at some point I want to hook that up, and let's see if there's any pictures or anything important on there. But you know, I thought you'd enjoy seeing that because, you know, you guys almost become like family, and so kind of introducing you to this person who was such an important part of my life, you know, it's kind of, I think it's probably important to some of you too. So I'm glad I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.